Hey everybody, welcome to episode 96. Forgive the wet spots on the shirt. I just got through doing the dishes. Got to get the housework done before I can record a video. So gave myself a little splash there. Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna do that Kiss comic book, that Marvel Super Special today. So I don't have a copy of it. Like I said, I don't really care to have a copy of it. If I find one cheap, I would probably pick one up, but I haven't gone looking specifically, but I have an assumption that a decent copy of it goes for pretty high just based on all the Kiss stuff of that era. But I do have a CBR of it. So I read it not last night, but the night before, and I had read it maybe once before when I actually did own it at one point back in the 90s. Again, I found it in a comic book box, just in a long box of like magazine size, like Epics and a lot of Warren publications. I think that's where I found that second copy of the Rock and Rule. So I think he's had a specific section in one of the boxes for Marvel Super Specials. But like I said, it was like $4, $5 then. You know, it might not even have been that much. Like I said, in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of this stuff, people just didn't just go freaking bananas with the collecting. I mean, you could get pretty much everything for I mean, there was pricey things. I remember Cerebus #1 was like $250. Daredevil #1 was like $250. Sure, yeah, Golden Age and some of the Marvel Age, Silver Age stuff. The older books, yeah, they went for a lot. They're usually on the Mylars, at the comic book convention. I never priced them out, so I couldn't tell you what they went for. But I'd say like most of your just run-of-the-mill back issue, even if you looked at if it was guide price, was there was not that many things over like say $10. And I said that kind of went that way up until about the about 92, 93, or as I was getting out of high school, when that speculator boom just went nuts, and everybody thought they were gonna send their kids to college on all this stuff, and people just started buying up everything, and it just jacked the prices up on everything. And then when it imploded or exploded, the bubble burst. You could pick the stuff up for dirt cheap again, and it kind of stayed that way. I want to say up until maybe late 2000s, early 2010s. I think the pandemic really skyrocketed a lot of collectors' prices on things. Just people had lots of extra money. They had nothing better to do, so they just bought up everything. And, I'm assuming, I would just take a wild guess, just without even, just a speculation. I would say a decent, like a very good copy, or even just a good copy of this Kiss comic is probably going for $50, $100. That's just my guess. Maybe not. Maybe it goes for less than that. I haven't even priced out another Rock. I'm sure the Rock and Rule one still goes for dirt cheap because nobody knows what that is but me. As a matter of fact, I can tell you for a matter of fact that Return of the Jedi version, the Marvel Super Special I have, that I picked that up on Amazon from a third party dealer for like $5 plus $3.99 shipping. It was like $9, $10 with tax. So yeah, they're gonna go after the big stuff. And let me just flip over to that real quick. Oh, by the way, I just want to plug, subscribe, do all that psychedelic jazzmajoo. Sorry, I can't think of a cool word for it at the moment. I see I'm up to 132 subscribers, so it's growing. I mean, it's as long as I don't lose any, which seems sometimes I lose one or two here. As long as I'm gaining, it seems like I can get to that 1,000 goal. I was hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers at the time I hit the 100th video. Again, I was watching some stuff on YouTube stuff, and they're saying like, oh, if you post, every three times a week, that's insane. Nobody posts that many videos. And even if you, that's not, that helps you, but you don't need to post that many. 3 videos. I post 5 videos a week, and there's like, and I admit my stuff is all over the place. I'm, talking about comics, talking about music, talking about toys, talking about role-playing games. Again, to me, it's all the same thing. I mean, it's just mass consumerism, collecting and mass consumerism, and that's all it is, really. I mean, mostly collecting, but that's why I named this channel, Things of Future Past. It's things of the, new stuff, things of old stuff, just things, just like the stories to be in Winchester Mall, things, they're things. To me, that's what I'm thinking of, but maybe, my logic behind that isn't, it's a little too esoteric for people, a little too hard, too much work for people to think. So, maybe the run-of-the-mill average Joe is just like, huh? Why doesn't he keep talking about Kiss? Anyways, we are talking about Kiss, so I'm going to keep talking about Kiss in this episode. So I just pulled this up before I open up the CBR. So here's the folder. This is of all of the CBRs of the Marvel Super Specials. Like I said, the only one I own at the moment is the Jedi one right down there, as you see, right there. And again, I'm looking for that one. I had those two. Also looking for the Crawl would be nice to have. The Conan would be nice to have. Battlestar would be cool. The Last Starfighter. Yeah, as you notice, a lot of these things are a lot of these movies you see here are some of my favorite movies of all time. Maybe not Xanadu, but Sheena. Oh, I haven't seen Sheena in a long time. Tanya Roberts running around like that. I tell you, that was a movie. Anyways, Jaws 2. Let's go. Obviously, we're here for Kiss, so let's open up the Kiss comic. So, decent cover. I gotta say that I have no problem with the cover. It looks like a comic book. They're drawn in that comic book style. I noticed that though, and here's just my personal, take as a comic book artist. I know that the way you make black, like a black bodysuit, like Black Spider-Man, or any of those other type of suits, Black Cat's outfit, is to do, the heavy black shading, and then do that blue, that dark blue. It's, it's darker than a true blue. I can't remember what the exact Doc Martin number is on it, but it's that dark blue, and that's fine. You could even do the black, quote unquote, which is like just a really dark gray. I think that would have been a little bit better, just because the band at the time was known for its black and silver. I mean, that was kind of the shtick, was black and silver. I know it's a comic book, and so they probably wanted it to be more colorful and pop, be more garish on the newsstand, so it pops better. I mean, they got a lot of that in there. They got that fiery kind of it looks like it's either a gouache or a watercolor background there, and they're standing on it. Looks like a outcropping on a cliff, I guess. I thought it was gold at first, but I guess it's not gold. Like a bunch of gold coins. I guess it's not. It's like an outcropping. It's on fire, because they're on fire. They're hot. They're Kiss. Again, some of the thing is, some of my favorite comic book artists worked on this too, and I don't really see the John Buscema here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I know the pages because it says what John Buscema did, but I barely see his work in there. I don't know maybe he just did the breakdowns or what, but some of these poses here, this pose is pretty rough. Paul's not so bad. Ace, he's kind of not super bad. Gene, I don't know what's going on here. This was an afterthought. But I'm sorry, I'm gonna tear it apart a little bit, just because I'm hypercritical of anything super popular coming from an artist, a comic book artist point of view. Yeah, I mean, pencil artists, Alan Weiss, John Buscema, Rick Buckler, Sal Buscema. I mean, where Al Milgrom doing embellishing, which is mostly inks. Where is all that? I guess it's in there. Stan Lee and Rocksteady Productions presents Kiss. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, and Ace Frehley. Written and produced for Marvel Comics by Steve Gerber. And then here's kind of how it breaks down the chapters. This is 1977. So, here's the thing, though. I I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but just what my take, because I haven't looked at the stuff in so long, and I really didn't put two and two together. But I'm assuming that they created these characters, the Kiss characters, kind of loosely based on the real people, Paul, Gene, Ace, and all those guys. But at the same time, they're kind of making characters. And I'm assuming that the characters in the comic book are supposed to be the same characters in Kiss Meets Phantom of the Park. Am I wrong on that? Just because, with the Star Child, the Demon, and Ace really always doing the curly thing. You're talking about doing the Three Stooges act bit, which he did in the movie with the... It was really weird. I found that really strange when he do that. I found it a little off-putting just because I liked Ace so much, and it seems stupid to do that. Not that the movie was, a work of literary fiction, or what I call cinematic, excellence. But I'm just, the whole curly thing was weird, and like he has like this kind of rapport with Peter Criss in this comic book, where it's kind of like they've been watching too much Three Stooges. I guess it's 1977. Maybe that was how people in their mid-20s acted back then, I guess. I think all of the guys are like in their late 20s, actually, at this time. But yeah, so I'm assuming that that's what's going on. And it would be, it's a pity they didn't have more comics, or at least something else to kind of flesh that out before the movie. And then the movie should have, if that was the case, again, I probably could be wrong, they should have, led in with that in the movie. Like, they used, they had their own comic, now see them come to the, full screen type of thing, kind of doing the Marvel MCU prior, and I think even having a guest appearance by like Spider-Man or something, it would have been pretty slick if that was the case. And they still could have went to the park. They still could have fought the Phantom. The Phantom, obviously they're not going to do Doctor Doom. But they could have, Spider-Man, like that guy who was playing Spider-Man in the late 70s, he could have just made like a quick cameo. Like he's there at the park, and he's, just does a couple of snapshots, The guy who played Sam wasn't the same guy who played Spider-Man, was it? I can't remember. We'll have to look that up. But if he wasn't, or even still, they could have had a guy who's basically Peter Parker, and he could have been taking some snapshots of him. I think I'm just thinking about when Sam's taking their pictures for Devereaux, I'm thinking that that's Peter Parker. Like that 70s actor who played Peter Parker, who's clearly like not, a teenage kid, which I like that. I like that better for Spider-Man. But again, Spider-Man could have made a cameo, and that would have probably boosted things a lot, Anytime Spider-Man showed up back then, like in Electric Company, anytime Spider-Man, hey, see him in the back row, that made things extra popular. It did for me. I mean, that's the whole reason I watched Electric Company. I could care less about anything else. I just wanted to see Spider-Man. So, I didn't read the interview part, and I also didn't read this brief biography of Doctor Doom. I know who Doctor Doom is. And Doctor Doom's the main villain in it. This also looks very much like the cards. I'm going to do the cards, too, next. Before Destroyer comes. Or if Destroyer comes, I'll do Destroyer first. But I'm going to kind of space them out. I'm not going to do Kiss back-to-back, but I might do, like, Kiss. If I have material, I'll do Kiss, something else, and then I'll do Kiss again, something else. I'm not going to go... Eventually, it's just probably going to boil down to me doing nothing but Kiss videos, so I can actually build a following to get monetized. I hope it doesn't lead to that, but I have this nagging suspicion, gut feeling, and usually that's right. That's what's going to happen. I try not to let it happen, but it might happen. So yeah, again, I'm not it's fine. I think it's fine doing the blue here. Like, this is like the same blue you'd use to do. See, that's more of the blue you'd use for the Black Spider-Man for Gene's hair. I think you'd use more of this color for Black Cat's costume, which is an all black, with the white fur, so it kind of makes sense. I think it looks fine, doing the light blue to simulate kind of the silver and doing the light blue highlights on the white. I guess it is what it is. I mean, this is pretty much, I guess, what Kiss would look like in comic book form. I like that they did do, different color hairs on them, so they didn't all just have black hair. I used to always think as a kid they all just had black hair. You know, and of course, looking at him a little closer, you realize, oh, Peter Criss has brown hair. So does Ace. But I mean, I guess that's Sal Buscema with Al Milgrom. I maybe who's this other guy? Alan Weiss doing Weiss. Sorry, you don't know what that's from. Doing the doing some of the backgrounds or doing some of the extra work here. But I think it's fine. You know, and it took me a minute. I'm like reading it, like, oh, that's Gene and that's Paul. I didn't realize it until I saw it when he says, hey, Gene. And I'm like, wait, is that Paul Stanley? And then I see the eyebrow. I'm like, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's them. Gene's running around the Conan comic. I think it's funny. It's probably a Sal Buscema thing, or even I guess even Alan Weiss was it Alan Weiss? Yeah, whatever. He I don't know if he worked on Conan. I know Sal did, mostly his brother John did. But yeah, they're kind of like talking about. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, it's not I don't." They're making this weird kind of like social commentary in the beginning. I thought was odd. Again, it's Marvel writing. This only in a Marvel comic. I thought this was like John Byrne on steroids. So like, what is going on here? It looks like me, I guess. It's like 9 foot tall barbarian furry underwear loincloth tube socked wearing dude with it looks very gay. It looks very like he just came out of the YMCA and he's looking for some, he's a hot on the town looking for some dudes. Get into a scuffle with a bunch of these guys. Half naked. It seems it's very, very homosexual. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, it's just, that's what it reminded me of. And it's like, woo! Roll up, boogie boy. So, anyways, so he has this cube, and again, this is where I'm thinking this has to do with the movie, is because this box, I can't remember what they call it, the Fountain of Lamneth, what is that, Lament box, or whatever the box is. It's got these talismans in it, or whatever. It's not the talismans from the movie, obviously, but the movie had the talismans, which give them their power, and then these fetishes or whatever, these little idols in this box, are what actually transform them into Kiss. I guess looking at this now, I copied this down on my tablet, and I was laying in bed reading this on the tablet. Now I'm seeing it on a bigger screen. The artwork is pretty good for the time. It's got some other top-notch talent on it. Pretty good, pretty dense, dense scenes. Got an arcade scene there. That face is pretty rough. Some of these background faces are a little wonky, but you got these thugs here that they're working for. You don't know who they're working for. It's funny when you had the star there. I'm assuming that's the Star Child talisman or whatever. I thought that was a throwing star. I was like, oh wow, it's like a ninja star, Chinese star as I call them. But they get these. I can't remember what they call them. They just call them totems, or talismans. I guess sounds cooler. That's why they went with that in the movie. And then boom, they go back, and then they come out in their Kiss, costumes and all. That's very comic booky. It's very stupid, but at the same time, I mean, that's comic book stuff. I mean, that was cool, And again, I say it's stupid in a very loving way, meaning I love that. And I think that's what's all the absurdity it's in comic books, all the just like, you're like, what? Right? As an adult, right? I think a lot of that's lost. And I know kids are a little more, kids are more cynical nowadays, and kids are more, I guess cynical is the best word. The times have made young kids very cynical. So maybe, they would find that to be, talking down to them today. I personally love it when it's just, how is it explained? Comic book logic. It just happens. Just go with it. Roll with it. Gene's breathing his fire. They're all scrapping with these thugs. I've got a beef with the comic too, but it's funny because my beef's kind of a contradiction. Like you watch like Wonder Woman or the Incredible Hulk TV shows, and they're pretty much their villains they fight are just like thugs. They're just they're just thugs. They're nobody special. They don't fight, a super villain. I guess even Devereaux from Phantom of the Park, I mean, he's as close to a supervillain, I guess, as you're going to... I mean, he's a mad genius that makes robots. I mean, I guess that's pretty over the top for the time. So you think, like, so why don't they fight a supervillain? It would be better if they fight a supervillain. Well, they do in this. Doctor Doom is the main bad villain, and there's, Mephisto's in it. And so you're like, well, there you go, dummy. There, you got supervillains. And it's like, but I find that, I don't like that either. Guess I can't be pleased. And then this giant moon ship comes down. Like I said, a lot of it's just craziness. And there's Doctor Doom, and he comes out with all his gypsies. And I guess the gypsies are robots, I'm assuming these are all the girls that are going to try to sleep with the band. But they're robots. Yeah. So I was just thinking about something that kind of made me... Again, maybe I'm just overthinking this. But one thing I thought was kind of weird was I was watching like that football halftime show with Kiss, very old Kiss playing live in it. And they had all like... I could see all like the little kids out there running around, dressed up like Kiss. And it's like I was when I was a kid, right? But then like the whole field is like all of these very, very young girls out there. Like very young. And they're all dressed up like Kiss, And then I'm thinking of like the young kids in the movie, with the young girl dressed up like Peter Criss and stuff. And it's just like, I mean, the impetus of this band is it's a rock and roll band that are out just banging chicks all the time. That's all that, they're tons of groupies, and they're not hiding it, and it's not like one of those things like, it's not talked about. It's right in the open. It's in the lyrics of the songs, and I'm just scratching my head, like thinking to myself, going, this is really weird. Christine 16, right? It's like some of those girls in that dancing down there are clearly 16, if not younger, and just like, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but at the same time, just like, what is wrong? I just, for me to say that is pretty, I'm not saying, I'm a degenerate or anything, but I'm just saying is, for me to question that, really makes me mind-boggling why people, are probably of a little less morally ambiguous than I am, or would say, don't question it. Just like, like all these kids' parents, like my parents, you know what I mean? Let's get Tim some Kiss music there at 5 years old, talking about Meech in the ladies' room. It's a different time, but that concert with the football thing, that wasn't of a different time. That was new. That looked that was such a bad place. I just don't understand that. It's very weird. My friend was considering, he was like, oh, Kiss wasn't Kiss jock rock? It's pretty weird for Kiss to be jock rock, but a bunch of guys that are, Paul Stanley, who's very homoerotic on stage, and you've got all of these, kabuki-looking like comic book characters, and they're jock rock. They're popular, like mainstream popular. I mean, Kiss ruled the world at one point, but at the same time, just I don't know. There's a lot of weirdness when you really think about it. Again, maybe I'm just thinking about it too much. But, I don't know, a lot of things just kind of, I just question. Like, what is going on with people? Oh, yeah. And here's the other thing. I was reading this. I was not doing something else. I was reading this. I'm reading it. I guess that last panel there, I guess I might have missed that. It's like, what's going on? Gene jumps after the... like the Incredible Hulk does like a Hulk leap after the moon ship, and then I guess they get engulfed in like a portal or something. I guess that's what that is. It looks very Portal. I mean, lines going around things is kind of portal-y. I'll bet this lands us in... Okay, does he say a crowd is starting to gather? Ace, say no more curly both hands this time. Sorry, I'm reading this out of context again. I read it. KO'd the floozies. I don't get it. And suddenly now they're like floating in limbo or floating in space. Far beyond what we call the world seems to suddenly evaporate. Yeah, but who? I don't. That part's totally perplexed me. I'm like, I got to like here, and I'm like going like, wait a minute, how did they end up here? That part wasn't very clearly fleshed out. I think they could have. Maybe they should have slowed down a little bit, and could have got this thing up by 1978, so 1977. But anyways. Here we go. So Peter, Spider-Man. You got to put Spider-Man in there. You got to sell books. Throw Spider-Man in there. Throw the FF in there. Throw the Avengers in there. Throw Strange in there. Kind of. It's basically like you get like 2 or 3 pages of Marvel superheroes. The Defenders. You get this weird dude. Say that in question marks. Or in quotation marks. I like the Red Guardian. Why our star's not white? They screwed up. And then it's like here comes it goes into the whole part where they they use the blood, to do the ink. I found that to be very weird. The other thing I found very strange. I don't know if it's the angle. I mean, Paul looks like he's in great shape, right? Everybody back then was freaking rail thin. Obviously it was before processed food, took over and. Everything was genetically modified, to turn us into fat pieces of shit. But back then, everybody was real thin. That or everybody's on heroin, one of the two. But anyways, Paul's in pretty decent shape, right? He's got some... But looking like, man, does Ace ever do anything besides play the guitar? I mean, lifting a Les Paul all the time, you think he'd get a little bit better arms? Well, I guess he got a strap. Gene, big 6'2" Gene, he's the demon. It's just like, I don't know, I think I could take both these guys in an arm wrestling, even left-handed, take these guys in an arm wrestling match today. Maybe not Paul. Paul might give me a run for his money. He's in pretty good... I'm talking 1977 Paul, 28-year-old Paul. I think Paul might be able to give me a run for his money. Chris, you'd think from beating on the drums all the time, he'd have bigger guns than that, but is that even really Peter Criss? It doesn't even look like him. I guess it's him. But Ace? Gene? Come on, the demon? You shouldn't be able to lose it. You should be, beefed up. I just thought of that when I saw their arms. Little noodle arms on those guys. Look at that noodle arm. Jesus! Ace, do some kind of workout. Work on them guns a little bit. Like I said, Peter's banging on the drums. He should be in pretty decent shape. 28 years old. I said, Gene's got some pretty skinny guns on him there. And even, of course, they got a tourniquet around there, so it kind of cinches the arm in. But Paul looks like he's in pretty decent shape. He looks like he's lifting a little bit. Definitely needs to tame that chest down a little bit. A little bit. What am I talking about? A lot of it. And then it goes into this Latveria thing. Latveria speed you away. It's so weird. These goofy... I don't know if it was supposed to be, there as a joke or what. It's just funny. I get the, nice little live set of that Love Gun tour. It's funny though. Yeah, that's not Love Gun tour. That's the Destroyer tour, because they got the cats on stage and he's got the armor. See, here's the thing's weird is it didn't even dawn on me. I mean, look at the cover of this comic book, 1977, and then of course the Destroyer album cover. I always thought that the armor came later, like the big armor. I always thought it came after the Love Gun armor. But I mean, this is like, duh. Look at the cover of Destroyer, which came out before Love Gun. He's clearly wearing the armor, and I personally think the armor's too much of the boots. I think that's a little overkill. I like his Love Gun costume a lot better. I just find it a little more scaled down. I think it's too much. It just looks kind of weird. Just give you a little... Sorry, a few live images from the live shows there. Clearly it's after Gene did his bass solo. And then Hey, leaning up on him, putting his leg in between his legs like that, like it's a jock rock. Maybe, I guess, if all the jocks are closet homosexuals, I guess, but which I don't doubt either. But anyways, I just think it's weird. Yeah, that's why discography up to Rock and Roll Over. I mean, like I said, I remember this coming out. I never had it back then, but I remember seeing it on. I think they had it everywhere. I mean, this comic was everywhere. I think it was at the Rochester Book Center. I think it was at like the Quick Pick downtown. I remember seeing this comic a lot of places on, and technically the newsstand. But advertisement. Okay, so now we're going here. So this is John Buscema, right? Yeah, I could see the John Buscema. It's just like either he was just really ripping through this quick, or Al Milgrom Al Milgram's the one doing the inks, just kind of butchered his inks a bit, butchered his pencils a bit. That looks like it's definitely John Buscema. I can tell the eyes too. And the monsters. This is all very Conan. It's very Conan, very Zamoria right there. I mean, it's very Conan. It's very Thor. It's very Avengers. That kind of Asgard Avengers, and of course Mephisto. Yeah. I guess it's like, are they in heaven? Are they dead? Are they in heaven? It's like, oh, all these cherub babies, all these hot chicks are all after him. Oh, we want to get with you, even in heaven. They're getting all the ladies. Meet you in heaven. But of course, it's not heaven. It's really hell. No, I couldn't see that one coming. And then this godlike figure turns into Mephisto. It's like, you're in hell. Well, you're called the demon. Wouldn't you think the demon would technically belong in hell? They're knights in Satan's service, remember? So one would think. He gets out of the boots there and sends his boots out to attack Mephisto. That's so cool. It's so stupid, but so cool. I love it. And there he goes doing the Star Child. That whole thing from the movie. So I'm pretty sure that the movie was supposed to be based on the character versions of the comic book Kiss. I'm assuming that, or it's just they didn't know what the hell they're doing back then. Everybody was just doing too much blow and doing too much blow back then to know what the hell's going on. Yeah, whatever. I'm as high as a kite on coke right now. Do whatever. I don't care. What? There's people dancing that look like those things? Woo! Whatever. Rolling $100 bills and doing cocaine off some hooker's ass. So what the hell? I don't care. Just do whatever. The kids will buy it. It's weird, there's weird aliens and this weird, whatever. Furry, technically. There's furries in this comic. Yeah, there's furries in this comic. Got a lion dude, got a cat chick. And she's got her eyes on the cat because he's a cat. Again, there's no. This isn't Shakespeare here. This is a comic book. It's made for kids or creepy adults like me. But some of these. Like I said, if this is Buscema, either Milgram's butchering his pencils, or he is just. Oh God! I gotta do a Kiss comic. I've got like 6 Savage Sword of Conans to do. I don't even have time for this shit. So he probably, there you go, I'll just do a chapter out of there. Let my brother pick up the slack. Get Al to butcher it all. He is not the Frost Giant from Asgard. Let's just put it that, or from Conan, where are the Frost Giants from in Conan? I can't remember. Fafnir or something. I can't remember where the frost giants were from. That is not a frost giant. That is a homoerotic John Byrne on steroids is what that is. More robots. You know, you're on the right path. You're going robots. It's Doctor Doom, of course. His giant lips come out of the ground. Don't try and fight it, Curly. Pretend you're making love. making love. Oh, not long. I guess they're trying to put the songs in here. I think they did mention. I think something says something about they're the kings of the nighttime world or something like that in here too. This is the stuff that I would write. It's so creepy, that big lips up there. There you go, Star Child. Hit it with your I-beam. Nice buffalo shot there, Gene. Gotta have that spiked cod piece in your face all the time. Cod piece. Alright, so Gene's fighting Doom. I gotta say, that's pretty badass, Gene Simmons fighting Doom. I had this idea for a drawing of Gene, spitting fire or breathing fire at Darth Vader blocking it with the lightsaber. I thought that'd be pretty nice homage to 1977. Do a Gene versus Darth Vader drawing. I thought that'd be pretty badass. Because I'm 12, so. It's right. It's right. We have Doctor Doom in this one. Get John Byrne to draw this one. Oh wow, the artwork suddenly gets better when Doctor Doom shows up. Yeah, because he likes drawing Doctor Doom. You can clearly tell he doesn't give a rat's ass about drawing Kiss. And this, whatever this is, why does he keep showing up? It's creepy. Quit showing that dude. I need to cosplay as that guy. Wait till about 10. Give myself another 10 years when I hit 60. Oh, my hair will be all white. My beard will be all white. I'll get some furry drawers. Wear a crop top, yellow T-shirt that says whatever he says on it, and some sunglasses, and woo! go. What do you call it? Cosplay as this guy. Only the hardcore would know what the hell that is. A lot of people are just like, oh. They said the girls could be half naked. We don't want to see that. We will want you. Okay. I don't know what that is. Oh, back. Oh, look at some of these mug shots. There's John there. Milgram rocking your cheeks don't need to see. Severin. What's Louis Severin? There's Weiss, Miller, Gerber, Ahoin, or whatever his name is. There's Stan the Man, Delaney. There's Sal, his brother. It's like, I'm Isaac Asimov, right? I'm my brother Sal. Cadavino, Cadavado, Afangu. It just looks like some like mobster. I'm not going to read all that. So anyways, talks about that or whatever. I think that's the back cover. So, yeah, that's the comic. Yeah, that's right, Finn. Why? And then they turn back to the regular guys. They go back to New York. I don't know. It's a very weird comic. It's just, to make a big production about this just one comic and say like, oh yeah, we're going to do this double-sized issue, magazine format comic, and we're going to put Kiss in it. We're going to get them to put vials of their blood in the ink. Which, what does that do, really? Just fucks up the ink, but anyways. And then, if they even actually did that, it wasn't just a publicity stunt. And then, we're going to put all these weird characters in it, like Cat Lady here, and which is actually very appealing. I don't like her costume, but the other rest of her is pretty good. These weird looking, what is going on there? Look at this guy. Woo! Roll up, boogie boy. It's disco time. They're at a disco. Makes sense. The Andromeda hustle. Do the hustle. Do. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, that's the Kiss comic. I can't believe I went 40 minutes on this one, but just going back through. Yeah, so the Kiss comic. um, I know like there's modern Kiss. I can't look at any of that stuff. I think there was even a Kiss comic in the '90s that was made. I think I can't remember. I know there was like a Metallica comic, and they did one Guns N' Roses comic. I don't know. I find it. I guess whatever makes money at the end of the day, but it's just weird. I mean, I guess it makes more sense with Kiss because Kiss. I mean, technically they are comic book characters. They're larger than life. You know. I mean, Guns N' Roses or Metallica. It's just like. I guess making them to be comic book characters seems a little weird, even though they are caricatures. But Kiss makes sense. I mean, Kiss is, that's pretty much what their shtick is. I would thought it would have been great if Kiss meets Phantom of the Heart. I don't know if this was in the notes, but they should have done the giant. They should have commandeered Doom's giant moon ship, and then they should have landed at the Phantom of the Park. They should have landed at the park in California, the Six Flags, and came out of the moon ship. That would have been a nice nod to the comic book. Like I said, Spider-Man, that doesn't have to be Spider. I mean, it could have just been Spider-Man in the suit. Like, what would have been kind of cool is if, like, he was just randomly there. Like, Jameson goes, "You gotta go, Parker. You gotta go down to that Six Flags. I want you to fly out to L.A. or California, and I want you to be taking pictures of Kiss when they show up at this Six Flags theme park." Why? Whatever. So he's like, oh, so he ends up flying. He could have been in the plane flying like Coach the whole time. Like, yeah, Jameson really springs for the best. He's in there, nudged up against this giant fat guy. He's got a big sandwich, and then. Or some screaming kid on the other time, and, Parker could have been there in the middle like that, like, Coach. And then, he gets there or whatever, and, and he's there taking pictures, and then he takes pictures, and he notices, hey, that other guy's taking pictures just as intently as I am. I wonder why. And then I think it would have been cool, like, maybe on the roller coaster during their fight with those weird, like, whatever the hell those things were, those space monkeys or whatever. You could have had Spider-Man, like, perched up on top of it, or, still taking pictures as Spider-Man. He's climbed up to the top of the roller coaster to get some crazy shots and taking pictures of that. He's like, oh, Jameson's really going to love these Kiss fighting the space monkeys, That would have been cool. I don't know if, it didn't seem like it would have been a lot of money, just a few shots here and there. They already got the actor. They could have brought him in. Again, if that's not the same actor, it could have been the same actor that played Sam, but I got to look that up. I'll let you know in the next video if I find that out. Or if you guys know, let me know. Is that the guy who plays Sam in Phantom of the Park, the same guy who plays the Peter Parker in the those Spider-Man TV show or whatever the hell the thing was that was on there? Where he had the camera, had the belt with the camera on the belt or whatever. I think he had like bracelets on too. It had like the web shooters or whatever. It was kind of weird. I know it wasn't Big McLarge who played Captain America. That was Big McLarge. I can't remember what Big McLarge real name is. That one actor, I can't remember what his name is. But anyways, yeah, so, like I said, I think they could have done some, but I mean, obviously, hindsight's 20/20, I mean, they did what it is what it is. Do I want to own the Kiss comic book? I can, if I pick it up for $5, sure. But I highly doubt that's going to happen. It is odd that this basically is the first one that started the whole, as you can see, going back to the, that was number one. That was Marvel Super Special number one. That's the one that kicked off this whole series. They had to do a Conan follow-up because they didn't really have anything to go on. Then they did a Close Encounters. Come on. And then they did a Beatles story. Gotta do the Beatles. That artwork looks better than the Kiss one. I can't remember what this one was. That's not the cover. Jaws 2. Jaws 2 was out right around that time. You had Sgt. Pepper's, more Beatles, and you got Battlestar. do a Conan, do a Star-Lord's follow-up, or fill-in. It's like, oh, we need some movies. We don't have any movies. We just got to keep filling it in with all this just stuff. And then, oh, Star Trek motion picture. Good, we're saved. We got a movie. Let's do a movie. Oh, Empire came out. Woo! Xanadu. Ooh. Raiders. For Your Eyes Only. Dragon Slayer. I still gotta watch that movie again. I never... It bored the pit... Some people say it's the greatest fantasy movie of all time. I don't know what they're seeing that I'm not, but... Because I saw this in the theater, and I mean, it wasn't one of those things where my dad was like, Tim, I can't sit through this movie. You're gonna have to watch it by yourself. I was bored in this. It was like, what's going on? And they rarely showed the dragon, which I guess they're kind of going for the Jaws thing where you barely see him, or Alien where you barely see the dragon. But I don't know. It didn't resonate with me, the Dragon Slayer. Conan did. I loved Conan. Conan was one of my favorite movies of all time. I tried to watch my son. I tried to show him Conan. I realized how little talking there is through like the first 40 minutes of this movie. And my son was like, "Is anybody ever going to talk besides just grunt?" No, I don't think they do actually. Ow! 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 You took my father's sword. Sorry, anyways. Do my Arnold. Ow, 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 ow. Where am I at? Let's see. Blade Runner. Not that great of a cover, but Blade Runner. Annie. Remember Annie? That was big then. Oh, I forgot Tim Curry was in Annie. The Telly Savalas is Daddy Warbucks. Who loves you, baby? The Players Club loves you. Dark Crystal. That's the movie my dad said, no. I'm going out. Going out and walk around. I can't sit through this. One of my favorite all-time movies of all time. Octopussy is probably one of my favorite Bond movies. I think For Your Eyes Only and Moonraker, and I definitely like the Roger Moore Bond the best because it's that time. I love Tom Baker, Doctor Who. I love Roger Moore, James Bond. That shows you the time frame, the age that I'm at. I have the Jedi. I said I'd like to have the Krull. That'd be nice. I remember the Tarzan and the Apes, that movie. It looks like Clint Eastwood there. That wasn't Clint Eastwood in the movie. I can't remember the guy who played There's Tarzan of the Apes. That's the one with I just said Edward. Lord Greystoke. Yeah, wasn't there Greystoke? There was Greystoke, the Legend of Tarzan, which had what's his face? The Highlander guy, wasn't it? What the hell's his name? I can't remember his name is. Something L. Yeah, the Highlander guy. Didn't he play Greystoke? But then who played Tarzan and Tarzan the Apes with like Richard Harris and Bo Derek, where they're painting me white? That whole crazy scene where they're painting a naked Bo Derek white. That was a scene, all right. I think that's what the movie's supposed to be. Maybe it's Greystoke. I don't know. I can't remember when Greystoke. I thought Greystoke was 84. Well, I guess Indiana Jones is it's 83, 84. Okay. Last Starfighter. The Muppets Take Manhattan. Buckaroo Banzai. Sheena. Good stuff. Conan the Destroyer. Dune. Yeah, these are some of my favorite movies of all time. 2010. Red Sonja. Santa Claus. I forgot about that movie. Labyrinth. I love Labyrinth. With David Bowie peeing upside down. No. He's not peeing upside down. David Bowie is upside down, and there is a troll peeing. But never in the movie is David Bowie ever peeing upside down. Even though that's what I keep thinking. And then Howard the Duck with Big Booty. Howard the Duck. And that's the last one, 86. They finished off with Howard the Duck. Yeah. Anyways, just kind of letting you know that there's more out there. More out there in the Marvel Super Specials than just Kiss meets Doctor Doom of the Park or whatever there. I'm not mocking. I mean, I'm not really mocking it. I actually do like it. But at the same time, I can't help but poke fun at it. All right, so again, I was telling you, I'm going to do the cards I don't own any cards. Again, just like comic, I hate to even see what they go for. Actually, I've seen what they go for. I think some of them I've seen like, $2-3 a card. I think there's like 132 cards in there. So you're talking, $300-400 for a card set. No. As much as I love cards, and like I said, that I had them as a kid, and that's how I made the band, taking the wrappers and stuff, putting on the actual Star Wars figures, but I'm not paying that kind of money for those. But there is a cool website that I was looking for the Tron cards. I was looking for the Jedi cards, and I found this cool website. It's called the Trading Card Database, I think, and they've got the database of all the Topps cards, all the Don Ross cards. They do sports and non-sports, and I just get a kick. It's just as much fun looking through that than it is actually just sifting through the cards. And they're actually to size. So I did end up printing, I don't know if I showed you those, I printed out a few of the Jedi cards, and they kind of worked. I printed them on cardstock, double-sided, and they kind of worked. If anything, I'd probably go through and do some, do some of the KISS cards maybe. I said Battlestar cards, Buck Rogers cards, all those cards. I just loved those trading cards as a kid. So I'm definitely going to do a video, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe I'll stagger these out with I'm not going to overload on KISS, kind of push the KISS out a little bit, and I might do one of the cards, and I'll go through the cards. And maybe I don't go through every single one of them, but I'll go through the cards, and we can look at those together, and I can give my my colorful commentary, I guess, to the cards or whatever. One thing I did notice was weird about the cards before I go is, I'll get into this more tomorrow, but the cards say 1978 Don Russ, and that makes sense because they would have came out in 1978. Did Eric Carr didn't join the band? Peter Criss didn't leave till what, like 82? Maybe 83 or 80? Sometime 80 or higher. Peter Criss leaves and Eric Carr is in the band, right? Why are there Eric Carr cards in the 1978 Don Ross set? I saw that as of yesterday, so if it's, when I go to look at it and you guys watch on camera and it's not the case, then Mandela effect. But that just doesn't make any sense. Why would there be Eric Carr cards? That means that the cards were printed in 1978 and came out, and they already had photographs of Eric Carr and then who was going to replace Peter like 2 years later, if not 3 or 4 years later. Again, I can't remember when Carr joined the band. I want to say it was the Elder. I can't remember what year. I think the Elder was 80, wasn't it? Or is that Unmasked? Dynasty was 79. Yeah, Unmasked was 80. So the Elder, was it the Elder then Creatures of the Night? Yeah, the Elder would have been 81. So why is Eric Carr got a card in the 1978 set? I'll get into that tomorrow, and I'll show you. I'll prove it to you. Hopefully it'll still be there, and it won't just magically disappear now that I say this. Yeah, we'll get into that. Maybe I'll not do it tomorrow, but we'll do it soon. So we'll get into that. I'll do the cards. Destroyer should be here by the weekend, hopefully. I think the guy said he sent it out yesterday, so it might even come by Friday. Check the record out, make sure it's good, give it a listen to. I'll write some notes down on Destroyer, and I'll do my Destroyer video. So there'll be some more KISS coming along the lines. Once I get through all the KISS stuff, I'd love to have the dolls, but wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyways, I love to have the dolls, but I'd love to have the makeup kit. I did go online and I looked at the makeup kits. The makeup kits that I saw that were like newer makeup kits actually came out in the 90s when they did the reunion. I think the newest makeup kit was like 1998 or 1999. So even those ones, which are a little bit better as far as probably not dried out, even those kits are going for like $100. So I don't think they have a current KISS makeup kit out there. The only way to do a KISS makeup thing would be to actually just go and research exact. I know Gene talks about in that one video where his daughter's doing his makeup for him, but or he's doing his makeup on his daughter. I think what do you call it? I think research the actual company of the stuff that they, because obviously they still use this stuff. and then try to, you know, source that stuff out, and then and do a makeup the real way, really, pretty much. But again, I can't really. It'd be hard to do it on myself. Maybe I'll do it on my son. He doesn't have a beard. He's only 11 years old, almost 12. But yeah, we'll maybe something like that'll be happening in the future. Let's. No, I can't, because I can't promise anything. I was gonna say, let me make a challenge. I would say, hey, if you can help me get to, say, 1,000 subscribers, at 1,000 subscribers, I'll do a makeup tutorial of Kiss. But I can't promise that, because I don't know if I can pull that off. So just something, just throwing it out there, spitballing, pretty much. All right. Well, again, another kind of quicker move video. Maybe I should start trying to get these videos wrapped up under an hour. Just depends on what I'm talking about. Sometimes I just can't shut up. But all right, so something will be up tomorrow. I'll do, and then I said I'll probably make it a few extra videos this weekend, because I'm flying it solo. Got to get some work done as well too. So I build up a cache of videos. I don't know if I'm gonna. Nobody really seems to be watching those videos on the New Comic Book Day, so I think I might kind of ditch the whole New Comic Book Day thing. I think that's kind of not. It's kind of a waste of time. If something comes out cool, I'll do a video on it. You know, if I obtain the comic. But other than that, I also looked at some of the comics that I was talking about. It's like, I don't want to buy these. They're just not that great. But I'd rather have the Kiss comic, believe it or not, than any of the new stuff that's out. All right, let me let you go, and I will chat with yous, or I'll chat at yous on the next one. All right, take it easy. Bye-bye.